Morning. I'm Rose from Grandma Rose's Open Pantry, and it's a treat again. Promises behind the camera. So, and if it wasn't for her, I would not be doing my YouTube channel. I'll have to tell you all that story sometime. Today we're going to be doing pepper steak. Um, it's peppers and onions, and this is sirloin steak right here. You can use any cut of steak that you want. You can use ribeye. You can use round. Round steak is a little tough. We like the sirloin. We really love the ribeye, but ribeye is so expensive. And so I usually try to buy the sirloin. So I'm going to make it in just little strips. This is a 1.5 pound sirloin here, and I'm going to cut it. And it's still partially frozen. I had a lot, when I did my Philly cheesesteak casserole, I had a lot of viewers say if you'll uh, let it still be kind of frozen, it'll slice better. And I do my chicken that way, but I had never done my steak that way. So it's still partially frozen. So I've just cut it in half like this. And I'm going to cut it cross grain. And there's some fat. I'm going to cut this piece off because it's mostly fat. So I'm not going to use it. And I'm going to marinate my, and I'm going to cut it in pieces about like, just bite-sized pieces about like that. I'm going to marinate it in soy sauce, and I'm going to use salt, pepper, garlic, and today I'm going to use Sweet Preacher. I hadn't used that in a while. You like Sweet Preacher? Promise? Okay. I got a thumbs up on that one. Her dad introduced me to Sweet Preacher about a year ago, and we absolutely love it. So, but you cut this in whatever size pieces you want for your family. And I'm going to let it marinate, but I'm not going to put it in the refrigerator because I don't want it to be cold. It's really cold right now, and I don't want it to be cold when I fry it. I want it to be like not room temperature, but not real cold either. So, and since this is still a little icy, it won't get too warm. It'll still be cold in an hour. So, okay. Won't take me long to get through this. And you can serve this over rice. You can serve it over potatoes. You can serve it over like egg noodles or gluten-free pasta. There's just numerous ways that you can serve this. And I asked Promise, I said, how you want yours today? She said, Grandma, I'm just going to eat mine with a salad. And so that's probably what I'll do too. Roy may use some pasta or something with his, but I'll have it as an option in case he wants, that's what he wants to do. And y'all are right. It cuts much, much better if it's a little icy, if it's still a little frozen. Your knife, especially if you have a sharp knife, your knife just goes right through it. And when you get on the edges where it's not frozen, it's not as easy to cut. So thank y'all for that tip. I love all the tips that y'all give me because some of them I've never thought of. Some of them I have heard and just never used. So I really appreciate it when y'all help me out and give me these little tips. Okay. My sink wash this all the time when I first started my channel. I keep a sink of hot soapy bleach water all the time, and I'm constantly washing my hands. And I know I don't need to say that, but I used to say it all the time. But you know how you get in the routine of something and you just, but anyway. Now, to this, we're going to add garlic. So I'm just going to sprinkle it with garlic. Salt, pepper. And I'll give you the measurements. This is about a half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of pepper. and probably, I don't know, probably a teaspoon of sweet preacher. And then our soy sauce, we're going to put probably 2 or 3 tablespoons, maybe a little bit more of the soy sauce. All right. Now this is my sweet preacher. If y'all don't know what sweet preacher is, let me show it to you. It's wonderful. You get it at Walmart. It is wonderful. We love this seasoning. Okay. So this is going to be about a teaspoon of sweet preacher. All right. That was about a teaspoon. And now my soy sauce. I'm going to turn. All right, I got to be careful because I took the lid off. All right. Now you can use Worcestershire here. Whatever sauce you want to use on yours. We just like the soy sauce. The soy sauce just gives it a really, really good flavor. And I think when I start to cook this, I'm going to put some toasted sesame seed oil in it because that'll make it delicious too. Okay. This is our sirloin steak that we're going to make pepper steak out of. So I'm going to cover it, let it sit on my counter for about an hour, let it marinate. Then we'll come back and I'll show you how I cut up my peppers and my onions and we'll get this underway. All right, I've got my pepper steak behind me. It's been marinating almost an hour. And I'm just cutting my onions and my peppers. That's all I'm going to put in it because it's pepper steak. So I'm putting peppers and onions. Now you can use this same thing for fajitas. You just, instead of the sweet preacher, instead of the seasonings that I use fajita seasoning. But you cut your steak the same way. You cut your peppers the same way. Your onions. And then you could use it for fajitas. So, all right. Now this is, these were big onions. So I'm going to put, I cut my onion in half and then I cut it in quarters. And then I'm just slicing it like that. Okay. And that probably is all I'm going to do. I'm not going to do this whole onion. Now I have a little piece of red pepper that I've already cut. And I showed y'all the other day how I cut my peppers. Some people, Lena, my granddaughter, was over here the other day. She said, Grandma, she said, she saw me cutting a pepper. She said, if you take your thumb and you go down like that, see that? And then you just push. I don't think I was supposed to push it all the way in. And it brings the seeds out. So, but anyway, she said that's just an easy way to do your pepper. So, and she was right.
Remember now, if you want to grow some of your own pepper, just take a pot, a flower pot, and bury these seeds, and then cut out all the peppers that come up that you don't want, because there'll be a lot of peppers come up from
this. This is a big pepper,
pot.
so I'm going to cut it in slices like this. I cut it in half, and then cut each little section in half. That way you don't get a big old long piece of pepper. But now if you like that, then that's fine. Okay, so I cut it in half. Then I'm quartered it, and I'm cutting each little quarter in little strips. Okay, and that may be all the pepper I do. Let me see. probably, I'm going to cut this one a little bit thinner. I may do another half, another quarter. Okay. And I'll just put this back, the other back in the refrigerator and use it for something else later. Okay. Because I only have like 1.5 pounds of steak. All right. That's my peppers and onions. Now, I've got my pan behind me. And I am going to put a little bacon grease in it this morning because I just think it would be really good. So I'm going to put a tablespoon of bacon grease in there. Okay? And I've got my steak here. I covered it. And look at that. Doesn't that look good? Look at that.
Looks good to me.
I know. Look at those little strips. Wow. So good. All right. Now, it's going to take my pan. I want my pan hot. I could do it in a wok, and you can do it in a wok if you want to, but I'm doing it in my, and a girl asked me the other day, she said, I love your skillet. Where did you get it? A friend of mine gave this to me. It's a Cuisinart. Cuisinart puts it out. It has a lid that goes with it. It's a really, really nice
It is.
piece of equipment. I love it. But that's who puts it out is Cuisinart. So if you're listening, if you're watching, then that's where I got it. I can't tell you where she got it, but she brought it to me, and I love it. It's stainless steel. It's not your nonstick, but it is really, really good for something like that you're cooking hot and quick because it gets really hot on the bottom.
Ooh, I can hear that sizzling,
I
Grandma.
know. And it smells so good.
Go
Wow.
frying pan. Go frying pan.
I'm going to put all that juice in there with it.
Ooh, that's a slam dunk. Wow.
Now, this is going to cook quickly. I'm going to turn it on up to high. That bacon grease I put in there is just going to give it another element of flavor. Oh, it's going to be good. Okay.
Everything you're making is better with bacon.
Yes, it is. All right. Now, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Because it's not going to take this steak long to cook, I'm going to go ahead and put my peppers and my onions, and I'm going to cook it all together. And they'll all be done about the same time. Because you want your peppers and onions cooked, but you don't want them, you want them to be al dente. You want them to still have some texture to them. So by the time and I want all this steak juice to get on those peppers and onions. All right, now I'm going to add about a tablespoon of my toasted sesame oil. I love this. It's so good. You have to keep it in the refrigerator though, because it will go rancid on you. Ooh, man, when that hits that hot pan, that sesame oil smells so good. Okay. We're going to let this hang out and cook, and probably not going to take it but 3 or 4 minutes. Gently.
You going for more garlic, Grandmama?
I am. I tasted the meat, and it's not quite got enough garlic in it, Now, my minced garlic has got some juice in it, so I put 1 teaspoon of my minced garlic and 1 teaspoon of the garlic juice. And that's going to really give it a garlic flavor. Now, if you don't like garlic that much, just don't add this step.
Throw up on the onions a little bit if you don't like garlic. Because that flavor.
But we love garlic, so.
Yeah.
All right, I think my steak is done. I think my onions and peppers are done. Y'all look at this.
How quick is that? That's what I want to know.
I
One
mean,
pan, quick.
10 minutes.
Woo.
That is, y'all look at that.
My taste buds are having an uprising, Rose.
Now, if you want more peppers and onions, just put them in there. And it's got a little bit of juice in it, but if you're using it over pasta, egg noodles, over rice, then you're going to want that little bit of juice in it. So, wow, look at that. Y'all, this is, once you get your meat marinated, and you can marinate it overnight if you want to. Do it the night before, cook it the next day. Y'all look at that. Now, I'm not going to put all this juice in here. I'm going to put it in a separate little bowl for the ones that want to put it over there.
Just give me the bowl.
But you talk about something good. Now, this juice, trying to get all my peppers and onions out. It cooked, what, 5 minutes? 7 minutes? Something like that. Y'all. Now, let me tell you something. That right there, that is something good.
You brought me in out of the kitchen.
All right.
Out of the garden. This better be good. That's all I can tell you.
This is rice, y'all. Now.
You made me change shirts. I couldn't wear my dirty garden shirt.
No, he could not. All right.
I'm so abused.
Y'all. Now, you talk about a plate. Talk about a plate. I'm going to show y'all. Look at this. Add a salad to that. Oh, my goodness. Look at all those peppers. Look at those colors. Now, this has got juice in the bottom. So, Roy would want that poured over his gravy. Okay, baby. Give it a try.
She didn't have cauliflower rice or low-carb pasta. So this is real rice, which we eat about twice a month. But because of the high carb contents in rice, we don't eat a lot of rice. But we eat it when we really want it.
But if I had cauliflower rice, I could have taken the time to make it, but I didn't. Y'all, the peppers are still got a little crunch to them. Not crunch, but texture. The onions are good. Promise you're going to love this. Y'all.
You've got the seasoning just right.
I know. I'm batting 1,000 on my seasonings lately.
You did good. It was worth coming out of the garden.
I'm just eating out of the plate, y'all. That is so good.
So to make this low carb, cauliflower rice or low carb.
Well, the pepper steak is low carb.
Yeah.
So, food feeds the family, family feeds the heart, God feeds the soul. Put deliciousness back in your pepper steak. Promise we're fixing to eat. Oh,